Oh, I'm gonna try to analyze my own gameplay. It's a pretty solid gameplay, like a 2 set, but very tight, very close score. I was even behind in the second set, 0-2, and I made a comeback to 4-2, won a set, won a whole match. Very interesting match. I used Serena and he's Agassi. So both are very strong baseline players. Agassi is more grindy. It's like you have to have a lot of rally with Agassi and really outplay him because he's so good at baseline strokes. And yeah, it just takes a lot of patience to outmaneuver Agassi, just because how strong he is at baseline. His weakness is serve, so you can try to do something during his serve game. And my own serve is excellent with Serena. She is a very strong character with a great serve, very aggressive. So I should be able to keep my own serve game, and my goal is to break his serve because his serve is supposed to be weak and I'm supposed to have an opportunity to break him. So yeah, that's the idea. Let's get into the gameplay and see if we can analyze, see the thought process behind each shot and the rally. A lot of typical shots. All right. Let's see. So it's his serve game first. We're at disadvantage. He actually served a very slow ace. It happens sometimes. We're not prepared. He hit slow ace. All right. This I served wide. Tried to make him pull him out of position, but he actually hit a perfect timing shot back to my right hand side of the court and hit a winner. That was an excellent shot by him. Let's see his shot choice. It was a medium shot. It's not even a short. It landed here in the middle of the court. It's not a deep shot. It's a medium shot. It's not a short shot. A short cross court would land somewhere here. It's a medium. It landed here. And a deep shot would be here. Great reaction by him. And again, I tried to serve wide to pull him out of position exactly like this. I serve wide, force him outside, out of the court, and leave the entire court open for me to attack. So I hit a very short cross court to open up more angle, because if you hit deep shots, it's actually the distance between the ball and the Agassi himself, my opponent in this case, is actually shorter. As opposed to hitting a cross-court short ball. If you hit a short ball, the ball comes here, the trajectory goes a little bit wider here, so you will have a longer distance to cover. So this is one of the most typical combinations you want to try. So you serve wide and hit short cross-court. It's the same if you serve on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side. You serve wide here, just like the first point we played, but he responded really well. You serve wide here, pull him out of position here, and then you attack this angle. Depends on where he is, but generally you want to send the ball to the other direction since he's so out of position. But sometimes when you do this a few times, like a few games, you do this constantly. You serve and then hit the other side. Serve and hit the other side. If you do this constantly, your opponent will know, he will recognize the pattern. That's how you play. So this time, you change your direction, you change your tactic. You serve wide, just like before, but now instead of going the other direction, short cross, you hit back long, deep shot at him, back at him. And because he was ready, he's probably already moving towards this side due to habit. The ball comes this direction, so he's running away from the ball actually. The ball comes in. Imagine if you're serving here on the left-hand side. You serve wide, he returns, and he runs back to the center. And you return. When he returns, you hit the ball back deep to the right-hand side. And he will be wrong-footed. So that's a little bit cheeky move. You can try to pull off sometimes. Right? Yeah, this is basically when I serve, I always go for that. Sometimes I go for the T, the center serve to try to hit a strong, try to ace. But typically I like to pull my opponent outside the court and then attack him. This shot by him was ridiculously good. I don't know how he pulled it off. Let's take a slower look. Take another look at it. Okay, cross court. Here, you have two choices in this situation. When you just hit the cross court and he returns and he's on his way back, you have two options. If you're quick and you saw that he's moving back, you can hit a cross court short ball. So wrong foot him again. Like when he's running this direction, you hit here, and he will be running away from the ball. So another option is the easier option, which doesn't require much brain power, is to hit down the line to the open court. This is the most obvious option, easiest option to go for, because you don't really have to observe his direction of movement. You just need to observe where he is. He's here, he's not here, so attack here. That's the easy option. So that's most of the time everyone will hit this direction. Right? That's the basic principle of how you play the topspin 2K. But sometimes, every now and then, you can try to do this. Trick him. There you go, guys. I hit a terrible timing here, so I give him a lot of time to recover to get a good timing shot from his side. So that was terrible by me. So yeah, I was back. Since I hit a very terrible shot, I had to play safe, just play by the principle to cross court, to play away from himself. He was still here, so I hit away from him. So when you are in an emergency situation, you hit the ball away from him. When you are in control, when the ball is like you have all the time in the world to prepare to hit the ball, you can choose to attack the open court or to send it back to the opposite direction where he's running. Right? So here I try that again, and now I pulled him out of the court and attack down the line. It was good, but not good enough. I would say the bounce was a little bit, it's not a very fast ball. So he actually returned that really well there. Perfect timing. Good job by him. I was not expecting such a fast deep ball. All right, here's one of the example of how you can trick your opponent. You got served, center, fault, serve again. Doesn't matter. The serve, I didn't pay much attention to this particular serve. I didn't really try to do anything particular. But here, look at this. He's moving towards the center. So here you have two options. You can attack cross court short this direction, or you can attack down the line. In this occasion, I think, yeah, I didn't really mind game him. He mind gamed himself because he's overthinking. He was thinking I could just attack cross court here, short ball. So he was moving towards his left hand side. So I happened to attack down the line, and he missed that. So that's just coincidence. It happens a lot when your opponent is thinking, sometimes overthinking, especially when you are in the middle of the court. If this stroke happened at the baseline, he will have more time to react. He will have all the time in the world to read the ball, which direction it is, and then react accordingly. But as in real tennis, it's the same. When your opponent is in the middle of the court, they are in offensive position because they have more angle to attack when they are closer to the net, and they will hit with more power, more speed, more topspin. So it's very difficult for you to defend. Like if it's real tennis, if it's real life tennis, Roger Federer is standing here, Agassi is here. Agassi cannot tell where Roger Federer is going to hit the ball. Federer can hit this way, can hit this way. Either way, it's going to be a winner. And it's basically impossible for Agassi to get No matter how good you are, it's just physics. It's impossible for you to cover both this side and this side because the angle is simply too wide when the ball is struck from the center of the court. So what you do is you have to guess. You have to take a gamble. You either go this direction to cover the down the line, or you go this direction to cover the cross court. But which one do you pick? It depends on your opponent's habit. The more points you play against your opponent, the more you understand your opponent's habit. Every time, like it's like 80% of the time, your opponent always hit down the line. Then you will just go cover down the line, just pre-move to this side. But sometimes, you know, it's hard to read. But when you're playing, you get a feel of it. You got to read your opponent's pattern, your opponent's habit, where they hit, and then you can make a guess. But it is not, you know, it's still a guess, still a gamble. So it's not 100% guaranteed. It's never 100% guaranteed because once you're here, the advantage is just too big. What you can do is to look at the geometry of the court. Look where he can hit. I wish I could draw here, but I can't. You have to really follow my cursor here. So where I can strike is in this zone here, down the line, this zone, and cross court short ball, this zone. So this is a fan shaped zone that you need to cover. So what's the best way to defend it? Not by standing in the middle of the court, because this is off center. You have more to cover. So in this case, you need to cover the middle of the fan, the center line of the fan. I don't know the geometry terminology, but you gotta cover the center of the fan, the strike zone of your opponent, not the center of the court. Now, you don't always go back to the center of the court. That's a misconception. Like after every shot, you go back to the center of the court. No, you have to go back to the center of your opponent's strike zone. Usually, if your opponent strike from the baseline in the center, yes, the center of your court will be the center of your opponent's strike zone. So you stand here to prepare to move left or right. But when your opponent is here, the strike zone is different. It's leaning, tilting towards right-hand side, your left-hand side. I guess it's left-hand side. So what you need to do is to position yourself a little bit over here so that you can cover this short cross court as well as this position, right? If you stand over here, you're gonna miss out on the cross court if your opponent's, if in this case Serena is really smart and she's really watching your movement, she will hit cross court and hit a winner. Easy win for her. So that's a very interesting intricacy about tennis. You gotta pay attention to that. All right, let's keep moving. But this situation, I was just a little bit lucky he moved because the game just started, the match just started. We didn't really know about each other's habit just yet. There's no pattern. It's all just a guess, pure guess. All right, trying to pull him out of the court. Same thing. And in this situation, I succeeded in wrong-footing him. There's a good timing and everything. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But you just follow the principle and play the same the tactic and switch up your play style based on your opponent's play style. Switch it up, mix it up. You're gonna have a lot of success. All right, so his serve game is very weak. He serves very slow, and I can basically stand wherever I want. So that's like I had one less thing to worry about. If your opponent is a really strong server, then you have to constantly worry about where you're supposed to stand, and how far away are you gonna stand from the baseline. Are you gonna get inside the baseline, or are you gonna go far behind the baseline? A lot of options. It depends on how your opponent serve, or what type of serve. Do they go for a flat topspin or slice. It's a little bit complicated. It takes experience. Another insane angle here. I just keep hammering the widest possible angle. Here, this one, my opponent also does the same thing. He's pulling. He's like, he knew that I would go back to cover the court, so he intentionally hit back at me down the line to force me to wrong foot. Actually, he succeeded many times in this game, in this match, to wrong foot me. When I was running towards the left, he hit back to the down the line, and oh my god, where did I zoom to? Yeah, it's still here. Okay, so here I was running back to the center of the court to try to cover the entire court, obviously, because as you can see, he is standing here. See, his striking zone is a little bit tilting towards my left-hand side. So when your opponent is standing here, the optimal position for you, defensive position, is a little bit towards the left-hand side of your court, not dead in the middle, and not obvious, definitely not here. Right? If you stand here, he has all these places to attack. If you stand here, he still has this part of the court is basically free for him to attack, and you won't be reaching it. So you need to be standing here. That is the center of your opponent's striking zone when your opponent, Agassi, is standing on this corner. So that's what I did. I ran towards this optimal defense position. However, my opponent is very smart. He anticipated my move. He knew I would go back to cover the court. So he hit back to where I was earlier to wrong foot me. I was running here, his ball was coming here. So I got caught off guard and I had to run back. So that would usually cause you to have worse timing, worse positioning, and sometimes you just miss the ball completely because how fast the ball comes. And you won't be able to control the ball direction. Even if you get to the ball, it will be hard to control the depth of the ball, the direction of the ball. So your return will be weaker and weaker, and his return will be stronger and stronger. This is called constructing a point. You don't necessarily win the point right away. You force your opponent to return a weaker shot. And then the next shot, maybe you gain a little bit more advantage. And then suddenly you expose your opponent's weakness. Your opponent expose their courts, like majority of the court, and then you attack the open court and win a point. It's called constructing the point. Now here is a very simple tactic by my opponent that I also talked about in my own gameplay. Just hit back, right back where opponent is, and you can win the point. This was not the instance, I guess. But it happened many times. I just rewinded to a wrong place, I guess. This is a different point. Either way, it's, the positioning was correct. So here you see what he just did. It was the same thing. I was trying to go back, and he hit back here. So you can try that as well. You can try that online as well. Versus AI, it's very easy. But versus online, you have a lot of mind game to play against. Because they're real people. They think, they adapt, they react, they act, and they re-adapt, like Michael Scott said. So it's much more complicated when you're playing versus real player online. Now look at this shot, beautiful. Let's see how this went down. I surprised him a little bit by going down the line, hitting back where he was. Now just aiming for now the easy option. Where? Which direction? Left or right? Which one is the easy option for me to attack? The right. This is the easy option. You don't have to think because your opponent is not here. The number one principle: hit where your opponent isn't at. So you hit down the line. That's the easy option, and your opponent will naturally think he should go try to cover that in topspin at least. So in this case, I would hit cross court. So this is something that contradictory to the strike zone defensive principle that I just talked about earlier. Just because in real tennis, it's much harder to actually hit down the line and stuff. But in Topspin, it's easy to cover the court. The characters run super fast, and there are way less errors to make. So you don't have to worry too much. You just run towards where you are not. Very often than not. So in this occasion, I took advantage of this situation where he just ran. I knew he would run this towards this direction, and I hit this. This is kind of a little bit of gamble. The optimal thing for him would be to stand here to wait for my ball. But since, as I mentioned earlier, because the strike position is too close to the net, so I had much wider angle to attack. There's no way for him to cover both, so he had to take a gamble, and he did, and he lost. It happens. So the thing is, you don't want to get your opponent into the court, because with a weak ball, if you left a very weak ball in the center of the court anywhere here, your opponent is gonna have a very good time, very easy time to put the ball away and win a point. Here I was trying to hammer back, send it right back at him, just to disrupt the pace a little bit, disrupt the the rhythm a little bit, and make him think, make him even overthink if possible. Here I hit a slice that was not the option. I should have gone for it probably. Press wrong key here. Let's see how he managed to win that point. Down the line, cross court. Okay, here this one was weak. My shot was weak here. Okay, I had an advantage, as you can see. He was running around, and I hit a slice here. This is the first mistake of this round during the whole rally here. This kind of set up for my failure later. So I could have hit a much stronger topspin shot to weaken his position, but instead I hit a very slow slice. So he had all the time in the world to recover the position and hit a good shot back. Good, not that great actually. His timing was also off. So here I hit it down the line, and nothing special. Both are playing pretty safe, just hitting at where opponents is not at. And here you can see he tricked me. He used a short ball. I was trying to cover this side. He hit a short ball. As you can see, sometimes I very often I don't obey the principle. Obviously, I should be considering the strike zone. Look at this. Where should I run to? Where should I go? Where should I go? Here, just one step towards the left. That's the optimal position for me. But instead, I was trying to run as fast as I can to run towards that. It's irrational. Like in real tennis, I don't do that because you actually see your opponent, you're in there. But in topspin in game, sometimes you're looking at your opponent and your finger is stuck at the key and forgot to lift it or stuff. A lot of stuff here. So you forget. I often forget to look where my own character is. I just roughly, oh, I'm here. I need to cover this court. I need to run towards that direction. No, that's the wrong approach. I need to pay attention to my own character. Realize the strike zone, where I should defend. This is the center of his strike zone. So I should be standing here instead of running all the way here. I don't know why. Sometimes I just keep running. And then I realize, oh, they're going to hit right back at me. And I'm out of position and I lose the point. It happens so very often. Just because it's very hard to pay attention to my own character's position somehow. In real tennis, it's much easier because obviously you are physically in the court. You know where your body is. You don't have to look at tiny figure to know where you're at. Real tennis, you are there. You know where you are. Here is like sometimes I forget where I am. I keep running towards one direction. I pull myself out of position. So that's something I can work on. So yeah, definitely need to follow the strike zone principle to stay in the middle of the strike zone of your opponent. All right, let's keep watching this this match. Wow, amazing backhand. Now I have all the court to attack. I can do anything. But my shot was really underwhelming. I give him time to recover. Nice one. That forced his error. That's awesome. That's a great shot. I was behind here. Yeah. I was behind. I was 1-2. 1 game to 2 behind. But I made a swift comeback here. You won this point pretty easily because my shots were weak. Sometimes, you know, some points you just have to concede mentally. Like they are just not meant to be. When your shots have no timing, no position, it's just terrible shots. It's like setting up attack like this one. It's setting up attack for your opponent. It's kind of well, if he got in position earlier here, if he was close, if he managed to get here earlier, it would be his point. It's almost impossible for me to cover the whole place. But now the ball is very deep, so we'll see if I can manage to defend his attack here. Yes, I managed. So if that would happen here instead of here, he hit that ball at the baseline instead of here. That saved my point. That saved this point for me. I didn't lose this point immediately simply because the positioning. So once again, I have to emphasize that whoever stands in the middle of the court and has all the time in the world to strike, then he or she will have the advantage, will probably win a point. There's a difference though, like if the ball comes really fast at your feet and you're standing here, then you're gonna hit back a very weak shot. What I mean when I say you have an advantage in the middle of the court is when the ball comes very slowly, to the center, maybe a slice, maybe a terrible timing shot, and you are standing in the middle of the court. Then you can put the ball away to attack it. However, if you're standing in the middle of the court and your opponent is in an excellent position to attack, he has a lot of time to prepare to power up, then you are in trouble. This is called a no man's zone. This is in tennis is no man's zone. You don't want to stand here ever. You don't want to stand in between the service, the volley zone and the baseline. You don't want to stand in this zone ever. You want to stand like around the baseline, or you go to the net. You don't want to stand around. You don't want to play your character left and right from this level. You want to stick to this level or this level if you are playing volley. So staying here has a huge problem is when your opponent hits very strong, flat or topspin, doesn't matter, a strong shot at your feet. There's no way for you to defend it. You have to hit a half volley and your return is gonna be super duper weak. And that will set up for attack shot for your opponent. So remember when I said you have an advantage in the middle of the court, don't just run to the middle of the court blindly to gain the so-called advantage. You have to force your opponent to return a weak shot into the middle of the court, and then you move into the middle of the court and hit a strong shot. You don't just stand here and wait for your opponent to hit a very strong shot here. There's no way you can cover that. And even if they hit at your feet, you're gonna return very terrible shots back. Even if your timing is perfect. I repeat, if you stand here, your opponent hit a very strong shot at you. Even if your timing is perfect, the ball will go back very, very poorly. So do not stand around. Do not linger here unless you are, at an advantage. Like your opponent's return is really terrible. You are, poised to attack. That's the only time you want to stand in the middle of the court. And that gives you advantage. lot of tennis, you know, pretty basic tennis principle. If you play tennis, I think these rules should be pretty familiar to you. I guess nothing crazy is happening here. I just outplayed him in the later second half of the first set. I just started to concentrate on my shots a little bit better, more. Saved a few points. Yeah, I saved these points really well here. I got lucky, he didn't kill me right away. That should have been his point. I managed to just save, just defend it, barely. This is a very long video, but yeah, if you can stick around. Alright, so I was winning here. I think I was just winning, easy peasy here. Let's see how we win the set. It's my serve, so I had all the advantage. I was basically playing around here. Let me show you the flat shot I hit. I rarely ever hit flat shots. This is a very nice cross-court angle shot. I like 95% of the shot I hit is topspin because it gives you more angle, more margin for success. You don't make error. Your shot goes deeper, gets more angle. So overall, it's much safer and very powerful. Flat shot, if you miss the timing, miss position, you're gonna hit a terrible shot, very poor shot. So for me, flat shot is a gamble. And here I took a gamble. I had confidence in my own score. I was 30 love ahead, and I put a little bit more faith in my own timing here. Tried to hit a flat shot, bam, down the line, and there's no way you can catch it. That's how you win the point. Flat shot is for winning the point, to close out the point. It's not for rallying. When you're rallying back and forth, when you're constructing the point, you want to use topspin. Always. Always. When you're trying to win the point, when you are at advantage, when you're in the middle of the court, you close it out with a flat shot if you react fast enough. Most of the time I'm not even fast enough to react. So I generally stick to topspin. Even when I'm in the middle of the court trying to hit winner, I use topspin shot. But occasionally I try the flat shot as well. So here I was losing 2-0. Let's see. I was already thinking about the third set, actually, to be honest. It's pretty rough. I was thinking about how to win the third set here, but I managed to, come back. Let's see how I managed to come back here. We are 30-15. We are actually ahead the third game. It's nice. Move him around to the left. Good. To the right. Good. To the left. Oh, what the hell was that? That was terrible. Okay, you see, this is one of those occasions where you can just give up. You don't even have to chase the ball. When your shot was that terrible and it was that short, that slow in the middle of the court, there's no way your opponent doesn't kill it. So this, I don't know what happened here. I got caught off guard. So I returned a terrible shot. Look at this. The ball landed in the middle of the court. My opponent stepped inside the court, ready to attack. Where can he attack? Everywhere. He can attack here. He can attack here. The whole court is his prey. So he can just put the ball away anywhere, in any shape or form, whatever he chooses, whatever he likes. Very easy shot, and he hit back at me. Well, I was trying to recover to the center of the court, which was correct. He was slightly off center, so I should be somewhere here to defend. But I always overrun. I always overshoot where I should run. I should be running. But yeah, that was a very good example of how much advantage you get when you're close to the net, hitting in the middle of the court. And when you hit such a terrible shot, it's like 99% of the time your opponent will win the point. You might as well just give it up. At least in real life tennis. This game, maybe keep going. It doesn't cost you anything. Keep trying. Doesn't cost you anything. Yeah. Right, he had a set point. I got lucky here. I had a very weak shot and I managed to win the point because he was out of position. He was running towards the other side. It's pure luck. I hit a few lucky shots here and there. A little bit of struggle. He got back to advantage. Set point for him. If he won a point, we'll go into the third set. This is also a pretty powerful shot. I managed to barely defend this one as well. Barely defend them. Oh my god. This one as well. 3 shots in a row that I barely defend. And here finally I re-established my foothold here. So when you're like in a very this kind of tough situation where you're being attacked left and right, what you want to do is to hit cross court or hit where your opponent isn't at, and with a long deep topspin, you want to hit a deep topspin to force your opponent back so that he doesn't have the space to attack you. What you want to avoid is short balls. Sometimes you want to, if you cute, you want to hit short cross court. But when you are in a situation where you are under attack, usually it's very tough for you to hit a good timing, to hit a good angle, especially from this back, from this far from the baseline. It's too far to hit a good angle. If you're here, you can hit a good angle here, try a cross court short ball. But here, you have to go deep. Okay. If you go here, it's very easy for your opponent to just step into the court, attack down the line, you lose the point. End of story. So what I did here saved my point here to establish my own foothold, like make myself, pull myself back into the court slowly. Like I was pushed away from the court so much. I was running here, running here, running here, running here at the bottom of the screen. And now I'm back to the baseline. I'm at equal footing with my opponent. I can attack him as well. And as I did there, counter attack and won a point. It's very important. When you're defending, when you're at defensive position, remember, try to hit deep shot, try to re-establish the equilibrium and take away your opponent's advantage. Or diffuse his advantage. Alright, it's a very key point. If I break him here, I had a chance. And guess what? I got lucky here. My shot was terrible. And I bet he was pressing the key towards the other direction, so he missed the shot. Here. He was running towards the other direction. Even though my shot was very slow, managed to hit a winner. Because he happened to be running towards the other direction. So yeah, we went into 2-1. 2-2. Some slight struggle, and I was about to win. That's the whole game. I basically just, you want to try to switch it up. Yeah, I tried to switch it up a little bit. Break the rhythm. I use a lot of short cross courts. One of my favorite shots in the game. Here again, I think my opponents should know by now. I always go for a short cross court. Pretty predictable how I play that. But every now and then I switch it up and hit another direction, hit a different type of shot, hit a slice, just to mess with your opponent's timing and stuff. I hit a very dope, lucky volley shot somewhere. I don't remember where. If I can find it now, it looked pretty insane. I got so lucky there. If I can find it, I'll show you here. If you're patient enough, you can stay here and watch with me. But yeah, that's probably everything I need to say about tennis tactics and stuff. So hopefully you've learned enough about tennis and how to play topspin. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I guess I'll try to find that volley shots. So if you have nothing to do, I guess you can sit here and watch with me. I really don't remember where I hit that insane volley. We gotta find it, man. We gotta find it. Oh, wow. It's not here. There I was moving in. Look at that. It's very typical. You step inside a court and attack. Look at this. Stepping. She's stepping. She was standing at the baseline, beyond the baseline. Now she's stepping closer, closer, closer. Because the ball is short. And attack. And there's nothing he can do. It's very typical. That's how you play. Okay, it's not here. Oh, it finished. My bad. Where's the volley? Oh, we're close. I guess somewhere here, around here, I hit a volley. Shot is pretty insane. I want to show you. Hee. It's hard to find. My video is geek. Oh, there it is! There it is! Let's see. The crazy shot. Pull him out of court. I accidentally went for the net. I never intend to go to the net because I'm not a volley player in real life nor in Topspin. I just don't enjoy volley as much. But in this situation, since I'm here, I'm here. One of the biggest rule in tennis is that once you're at the net, you don't come back. You don't run back. When you're at net, you are at an advantage technically if you're good with a volley, as every professional tennis player should be in this game. Once you get there, you should just stick to the volley and close the point. Volley is the most efficient way to close the point, to be aggressive, to defeat your opponent. Once you're there, you are at advantage. It's not a disadvantage. So never run back. If you run back, you are leaving a lot of space for your opponent to attack. So if you run back, you're throwing away your advantage. Not only that, you're giving your huge advantage back to your opponent, and even more. So going back is like throwing points, unless you have to defend. If they lob you, you have to run back and stuff. Generally, you go to the net, you don't come back. So I stuck to the net. I try it out. Look at this. Very weak overhead, very weak volley. Unfortunately, here the timing is off as well, but the lob was not high enough. And Serena did a 360 rotating backhand smash. That was so beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful shots I've ever done in this game. Unfortunately, it's a bad timing. Imagine it was a good timing. Man, that would be an insane shot. Ooh. Beautiful. Alright, with that, I'm going to conclude this video and thank you for watching. See you next time. Subscribe. Remember to subscribe.